Good morning, friends. Now that we have finished with chapter number 5, understanding Euclid's axioms and postulates, and we saw certain form of the postulates also. Now we are going to move to chapter 6. Chapter 6 is lines and angles. So in this chapter we are going to understand what are lines, what happens when lines intersect, what are the different forms of a line, and we will study the introduction of angle in this particular lecture. So now you have to remember that every word in mathematics has a particular meaning, a particular definition, and like I told you before, Euclid gave the axioms and the postulates, and he also gave us some undefined terms. Those undefined terms, we have assumed them to be true, and based on those terms now, we are going to define lines and angles. So let us begin. Okay, the first definition or the basic term was point. So last time we did what point is. Point is an undefined term. It has got no dimensions. But now what is the use of the point? So a point is an exact location in space and is represented by a fine dot. So when I have to show any location on space, I will indicate it with a dot. Now remember the dot, you can see there are 3 points here, A, B and P. But you remember the point is dimensionless. Now if you look at this dot, it has got a certain radius, a certain area, but this is only the representation of a point. It is not a point. It is a dot used to represent a point. So here we are saying point is an exact location in space. So you can see exactly where A is located, exactly where B is located, and where P is located. Now remember, any object cannot be in two places at the same time. So since I have shown a specific location of point A, then this point A now cannot be at any other place in space. So is it clear to you? This point A is a definite location of this point. So this point now cannot be at any other place. We can have infinite points on a place, but one point cannot be at two places. So once the position for point A is fixed, it cannot be at any other place at the same time. So point A cannot be represented at two different places. So this is the concept of point. Now from point we move to a line. What is a line? A line is a collection of points which has only length, not breadth or thickness. So here I have shown you a line. How do you know it is a line? It has got an arrow on both the ends. So you have to see how we write a line. A line is written by a name. So how do you name a line? Now what concept have we used here? We have learned in the last chapter that one and only one line can pass through two given points. So here I have taken the 2 points to be A and B. So through these points A and B, only one line can pass. So I have indicated the name as AB, and there is a arrow, double arrow on the head which shows a line. Now you can see it doesn't have any end point. It is extending in both directions, so we can call the line BA also, or it can be even shown by a small letter L or M or N or P. Here I have shown it by the letter L. So line is a collection of points which has only length, not breadth and thickness. But note, a line has no end points means it has length, but you cannot measure the length because it is extending indefinitely in both the directions, infinitely in both the directions. So this is the concept of a line, and these are the different ways in which you can name a line. From line, we have the next concept of a ray. A ray is a part of a line with one end point. So a part of a line with one endpoint is called a ray. Now in the first we have got a ray AB. What you can see, the arrow is on B, means the B part is extending but the A is fixed. The ray is terminating at the point A. The ray terminates at point A. It extends on B. So that is ray AB. Ray AB has the endpoint A, also called its initial point. Now ray BA. What is ray BA? Here B is the initial point which has got a fixed terminated and extends in the direction of A. So remember, line AB equal to line BA, but ray AB is not equal to ray BA. In ray AB, A is the initial or end point. In ray BA, point B is the initial or end point. Now again you need to note here, a ray has no definite length. Means again, a ray cannot be measured. Okay. Now we go to the next part, is a line segment. A part of a line with two endpoints is called a line segment. So what you can see in the line segment, there are two endpoints. Remember, there are not 2 points, there are two endpoints. On this line segment, there are infinite points, but it has only two endpoints. Now you can see, because it terminates on both sides, it has got a definite length and hence it can be measured. So you can measure a line segment. How you can denote it? If you move from A to B, one point endpoint to another, or from B to A, it is one and the same. So the line segment can also be called AB or BA. So we have from the line seen three parts of a line, a ray, and a line segment. So let us compare them all now. We are giving a comparison here. So a line, a ray, and a line segment. The first part is a line. What you can see in a line, it has got 2 points which I have named A and B. Now remember, this is not a true representation, I am only comparing, because if point A is given here in a space, then the same point cannot be given at different places. The point A cannot be at different places at the same time. Means you will have to look at every diagram independently. So first only look at the line AB. The first diagram. Only look at the line AB. What does the line AB mean? How it is named? Line AB is named by 2 points on the line. But what is the difference? Here the line is extending infinitely in both directions. From these same 2 points AB, we can even make a ray. How do you make a ray? The ray starts from one initial point and then goes infinitely in the opposite direction. So here I am using the same point A and B to show that you can draw a line through the points A and B. You can draw a ray AB or a ray BA from the 2 points A and B, and you can even draw a line segment from the points A and B. Line AB and ray AB extend indefinitely as they cannot be measured, but AB can be measured because it terminates. Now, a line and a ray does not have definite length, hence we cannot draw it on paper. So you cannot draw a line and a ray on paper. Then what I have drawn? We can only represent it by a diagram. So I have drawn this diagram to represent the line and the ray, but in actual terms you cannot draw a line on a paper. Why? Because the line is extending indefinitely in both directions. But you can draw a line segment on a paper because it has a definite length and you can draw it with exact measurement. Means if you are told to draw a line segment of 5 centimeter, you can take one endpoint as A, another as B, and the distance between the 2 points is 5 centimeter, which you can exactly draw on paper. A line AB and a ray AB are only represented on paper, but they cannot be actually drawn on the paper. Okay. Now from points and lines, we move to collinear and non-collinear points. So look at the definition. If three or more points lie on the same line, they are called collinear points. Collinear means on the same line. So in the diagram, P, Q and R are collinear points. Why are they collinear points? Because all the 3 points lie on the same line. Now remember again, 2 points are always collinear because one line can always pass through 2 points. So 2 points are always collinear, but 3 points may or may not be collinear. If all the 3 points lie on the same line, then they are collinear. And if they do not lie on the same line, they are non-collinear. Example, the points x, y and z. You can see below the points x, y and z are non-collinear, hence they make a triangle. And the points p, q, r are collinear, so they can never make a triangle. So if you observe, the points p, q, r are collinear and they will never make a triangle. Point x, y, z are non-collinear, so 3 non-collinear points make up a triangle. So is it clear to you what are collinear points and what are non-collinear points? So we have done points, line, ray, line segment, collinear and non-collinear points. Now, intersecting and non-intersecting lines. So till now we talked about one line. Now we are going to more than one lines. Now how many lines can you draw in a space on a surface? How many lines can you draw on one surface? So the answer is you can draw infinite lines on a surface. So I'll draw a few lines. Okay. What you can see in the picture, here I have not named the lines by the point, but I have given them individual names. So in this diagram I have got line L, line M, line P, line Q, line X and line Y. Now lines L and M are intersecting because they intersect or meet at a point. So you can see in the diagram line L and line M, they actually meet at a point. And what is the point at where they meet? The point is O. Means the point O lies on both the lines. Point O lies on line L also and point O lies on line M also. So O is the point of intersection. Here the lines L and N are intersecting and they intersect at the point O. Now note here that two straight lines cannot intersect in more than one point. Okay, so in the diagram you see the line L and line M. I have intersected them both at the point O. Now can there be any other point where they both intersect? So you will notice that two straight lines cannot intersect in more than one point. So that was one pair of lines L and N. Now I move to the next line P and Q. Now P and Q are not intersecting, but remember they are lines. When I will extend them further, then they will intersect. So P and Q are also intersecting lines and they will intersect at one point, but in this diagram I have not shown their intersection. But again P and Q are intersecting lines. Line X and Y are parallel lines and they will never intersect. Means even if you extend them indefinitely in both the direction, they will never meet. So there is no point common in line X and line Y. Line X has infinite points, line Y has infinite points, but there is no point common between line X and line Y. So again look at intersecting lines and non-intersecting lines. Intersecting lines will have one point in common. Non-intersecting lines or parallel lines will have no points in common. And last time we had also done a special case of intersecting lines. If two lines are intersecting, if they intersect each other at right angles, then those lines are called, yes, the lines are called perpendicular lines. So when two intersecting lines intersect at 90 degree, they are called perpendicular lines. So here we are done with intersecting and non-intersecting lines. Next we have an angle. Now from the previous figure, I had two intersecting lines, if you remember. So what do two intersecting lines form? The intersecting lines from angles. So today we have got a new concept now, the concept of angle. What we have introduced new today? We have introduced the concept of angle. So when two lines intersect, they will form an angle. Now from the intersecting lines given on the top, this intersecting line, I have taken one piece out of it. This piece I have shown down, and this is the angle. Now what is an angle? The figure formed by two rays with the same initial point is called an angle. So you will understand, to define an angle, we should know what a ray is. So what was a ray? Do you remember what was a ray? Yes, the ray was having one initial point and then extending indefinitely in the other direction. So here there are two rays. Look in the figure. OY is one ray where O is the initial point, and OQ is another ray where O is the initial point. So when two rays have the same initial point, it forms an angle. So in the figure, the common initial point is O, and O is called the vertex of the angle. OY and OQ are called the arms or side of the angle. Now how do we name the angle? You can call the angle by a name in a specific order. You can call it YOQ, or you can call it QOY. You can give it either name. Yes, but the vertex will remain in the middle. So it's YOQ or it is QOY. And sometimes we just write it as angle O. So this is an angle. And how do we get an angle? What is an angle? It is a figure formed by rays with the same initial point. Now look at the diagram again. The diagram with two intersecting lines. So they are forming not one angle. I just showed you one, but actually they are forming more than one angle. So look at the diagram again, and you will see there are actually four angles. There are four angles. Can you name all the four angles? One is done for you. YOQ is one angle. Can you name the remaining three? So the remaining three angles are XOQ in the diagram, XOQ. So I will say here got angle 1, which is YOQ. Then we have got another angle XOQ. This is XOQ. Then we have another angle YOP, and we have got one more angle XOP. So two intersecting lines are forming four angles. Now we have understood what an angle is. An angle is made up of two rays having the same initial point called the vertex, and the two rays are called the arms or sides of an angle. So today we have understood what is a line, the parts of the line, the ray and the line segment, intersecting and non-intersecting lines. Non-intersecting lines are parallel lines, and intersecting lines, when they intersect, what do they form? They form an angle. Now in the house, where do you find angles? Yes, you can look around and try to find wherever angles you can see. The cupboards are rectangular in shape, they have right angles, but when the door is not fully open or closed, then it makes an angle. Even the hands of the clock, at different times of the day, they make different angles. Okay, now when you understood the angle, in the next lecture we are going to do the different types of angles. The angles based on the measure and the relation between two or more angles with their different names. So I want you to revise this till now, and you must have done this angles before also. You must have done, but we will do a second revision. You must have done a lot of this before, but now you have to remember all the names. Yes? So I'll name you a few right now. We have a zero angle, acute angle, right angle, obtuse angle, straight angle, reflex angle, complete angle. Then we have adjacent angles, linear pairs, vertically opposite angles. Yes, they all have a special meaning, but all these are the different names of different angles, which we will do in the next lecture. So this lecture I want you to revise and remember lines and rays and line segments. Okay. Now I'll ask you a last question. How many endpoints does a line have? A line has no endpoints, but it has infinite points. A ray has one endpoint, but on the ray there are infinite points. A line segment has two endpoints, and on the line segment there are infinite points, but it has two endpoints, means it is terminated on both sides, hence it can be measured and drawn on a paper. So we'll end the we'll end the lecture here today, and tomorrow we'll continue with different angles. If possible, you can, for tomorrow, keep with you a scale and a protractor, so you can even draw the angles while we are explaining, okay? So I'll give you some time to draw. So in the next lecture, keep a scale, a pencil and a protractor at hand. So we will also draw while we are understanding. Okay? Thank you.